Hello, everybody. I'm Toby Shifsky, the Vice President of Real Estate Education at Kaplan. And today, for our Real Experts webinar, we have none other than our own and one of our quickly becoming favorites, Miss Jamie Cash. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Toby.
So let me just introduce Jamie, and then we'll kick right in, because our title today is The Power of Community Forums: Connecting, Collaborating, Thriving Together. Are people using these, and what are they, and are they a valuable tool? We're going to discuss all of that today, and how can you use it to actually build your expertise? Because one thing we know going forward, you're going to need some expertise in this business. Our marketplace, the way it is right now and how it's changing, is going to offer opportunity for those who create that expertise quickly to do a lot of business. All right, so we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but let me give a full introduction of Jamie. So Jamie, with an impressive career in real estate spanning 11 years within the industry. And Jamie, you've been with Kaplan for what, I think 4 of the last years?
I have 4.5.
Helping Kaplan in its mission, and we appreciate you. Having previously been a Kaplan student yourself, right? Jamie possesses a deep understanding, kind of the essential qualities needed for both student achievement and a thriving real estate career. Currently, she diligently manages our Kaplan community. So she's infusing her role with innovative approaches to enhance her learning experiences for Kaplan students. And we're excited to have this kind of effort, which everybody should know is more than just Kaplan's real estate community. Kaplan community is because I think Kaplan has a lot of different businesses under the umbrella. We have a lot of career professional education, from insurance and securities and higher level designations like CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. We also have a college, this College for Financial Planning, for your CFP designation. And so all of us are kind of understanding kind of the wealth and knowledge and power that comes with having a staff of a faculty of experts at our disposal, and at our students' disposal. And so Jamie is here in the role representing our Kaplan real estate communities, and really to kind of inform us of what's happening, some of the exciting stuff, and what we can do to leverage that for our business, meaning you as a professional real estate licensee, what can you do to manage forums for your business? So Jamie, thank you for being here and helping us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, let me do this. I'm going to, hang on. Here we go. Now we're back in play. All right, everybody. Let's do this. I kind of want to ask a quick poll question, if I could, Jamie, just to make sure we know who's all here. And everybody, this is your chance to play along, because we're going to cover a bunch of stuff today that is really about how you're finding your information within the industry. So how are you becoming bigger, faster, smarter, stronger in order to take advantage of the opportunities that today's market is going to present itself, specifically over about the next 18 months. All right. So go ahead and play along so we know who we're talking to. All right. I'm going to go ahead and launch this. And you should all be able to see the poll. Are you, or have you been, a Kaplan student currently? Let everybody take a shot at this. Hey, if you're on your cell phones, you may actually have to swipe a page to get to the poll. But I am currently a licensing student is answer number 1. I'm currently a post-licensing student. Man, I've already been through the licensing education. Now I'm into my post-licensing. Or I'm currently a continuing education student. How about I am a Kaplan alumni? So I have graduated from Kaplan real estate licensing courses or post-licensing, but you know what? I'm currently not enrolled, but I'm coming back for more information. And then, hey, you're not even a student yet at Kaplan. We'd love to hear about that too. All right. All these polls, guys, are anonymous, and nobody's going to see your name tied to it. Now, if you do chat in the chat box, of course, everybody sees your name. So be appropriate. All right. So how this works, guys, is we've got about 30 minutes. And we're going to get through a bunch of questions. We're going to do some poll questions. And for any reason you can't stay, we will send this video to you in about a week. So, and you can share that video too at that point. So here we go. Let's do this. I'm going to share the poll question. We're going to end it. Just so everybody knows, and I always share the results of the poll question, so you always will get a chance to play. I am currently a licensing student. 70% of you are currently licensed. Woohoo! Good for you. You're right. You're on your road in your education, in your career, and you're looking for more information. Fabulous, because this entire webinar is about information and where do you go to get it. I'm currently a post-licensing student, like that. We got a couple of people there. I'm currently continuing education student, 14%. Good for you for being back. I'm an alumni, but I'm currently not enrolled. Even better for you guys. I love that you're still coming for these real experts. Maybe it's your first time. And then look at that. We even have people who have never been enrolled at Kaplan. I'd love to know how you found out about us, because we send emails to our past students. But however you're getting it, love to have you here and excited for you. All right. So let's do this. We're going to stop sharing. And I'm going to do this. Jamie, tell us what's happening with real estate forums and Kaplan. Well, what's the value? Where are we at with forums in Kaplan?
So Kaplan decided to create a community forum for the real estate side, just because it helps you guys also have a sense of community. We know a lot of people are taking their classes either with a home study program, an on-demand program, some are doing it live online. But just so that everybody has that sense of community, the live online students tend to get, a sense of community when you're in the classroom, but the other programs may or may not see that. So we wanted to make sure everyone was getting a sense of community, not only to be able to feel like you belong here, but also that you can have a place to get your questions answered. So I think it's really important that you're not getting questions answered just from anybody, but we have instructors who you'll see labeled as a moderator in the community that are going in and answering the questions at all hours of the day. So if you're putting a question in there, within 24 hours, there's an answer there. So I think that was a huge advantage that we have over other schools, just because we are giving you that personal touch, and Kaplan loves to go above and beyond for their students. And I think that's something that is a big point of difference for us.
Cool. That's a lot there. I think about community. We started a discussion about community a couple of years ago, and here's what I can tell everybody from my perspective. There's value in knowledge and understanding, and there's value in different communities. I mean, a lot of people have been doing communities at churches and schools and professional communities. There are entire billion-dollar companies built around professional relationships like LinkedIn. Right. And so I can tell you this. One of the things that Jamie's responsible for at Kaplan is our community forums. Now, can be confusing because we have actually several forums that do different things. Like when you're actually an active student, one of the reasons we asked the question earlier, are you an actual current student? If you're a current student, you have access to different forums than just a public forum. They have mostly to do with the learning and the education. So for you, 70% of you who are licensing students, you have access to forums that the regular public doesn't have. Those would be like our interactive study group forums, where you go and you ask all the questions about your education, everything that you're going through, as far as questions about content, questions about God, I don't really understand the concept of escrow. What is that? Or, well, but I've got an agency question. We've created forums because here's the deal. We have instructors available to you at all times, right? And you can reach out to them. But what happens is, like 80% of the questions are the same questions. You're not alone when you are struggling with a question, right, Jamie? I mean, is that what we're finding? Is that people that have the same questions? I mean, what role does the forum play for those people?
Yeah, and that's one of the great things that we have about the forum is you can go and you can read. You can just peruse the information that's already there, or you can search. And you can go up to the search bar and check, oh, well, I have a question on, prorations. Well, a lot of people have questions on prorations.
Yeah, you're definitely not alone on prorations.
You are not the only one that has that question, but you can also see who had that question. And maybe that's the answer to your question. So you already have the answer without having to wait for someone to respond. So you have got that instantaneous result. But you can also post a question if your question's different and you're like, that doesn't quite answer my question. And then you can go in the forum and get that question answered very quickly. So it's a great resource when you're going through the program, to be able to have a person to ask a question to and get a almost immediate response.
Well, right. So somebody's maybe already asked the question and it's been answered by experts. That's the other thing. Everybody who's in our forums as a moderator is considered an expert. Somebody who's approved as an instructor in multiple states or their state. They are generally all practitioners of real estate, and you should know we have about 80 professionals that are on staff with us who are either subject matter experts or instructors. And so I couldn't really find a better place to have a forum where you wanted a professional response to your question. Right. So that's one of the things that you get. I mean, I know people use all different kind of forums out there, and I'm going to ask a poll question later to say, hey, what other forums do you use? But I know, Jamie, how long ago did we start our forum effort from your perspective?
We started the forum effort in February, but we relaunched the beta again in March. April. So we redid this just to make it a little bit cleaner and making sure that everyone has what they need. And we kind of reorganize things a little bit more. As Toby said, within the community, there are different groups in the community. So the community itself is a community of a whole, but within that, there are different groups. So you can always reach out if you have interactive study group questions. If you're in California, you have a different program. And so then you have a little interactivity piece that you have to participate in. So it depends on the state and depends what you have access to based on your program that you purchased. But overall, you have a student community and you also have a career community. So the career community is more of like a public facing community that anyone can go to ask questions about the real estate career. And students can go to ask questions when they have a question about the career, or once they've graduated and have their license, can come back and say, now I've got a question about this. How does this work?
Got it. So let me ask a question. How would they facilitate engagement in our community? How do you access them?
Yeah, so the community is actually really easy for students to access. So if you're already a student, I put a link in the chat and I can put it back in the chat here again. Yes. But you can access the community by using this link. It'll bring you right into the community. You can also go in through your LMS. So your learning management system is where you go to access all of your classes and your coursework, your exams, all that. So when you're in there, there's a button underneath your interactive study groups that says community forum. You'll click that and it'll bring you right into the community. From there, you'll be able to see the different groups that you can associate with based on your program.
Got it. So depending on what products you're in, you will have different communities available to you. So even to the point, I think most of you know that we do a coaching program, Real Estate Accelerator. They also have a community where the coaches work with people in the community, people starting out fresh in the business, in the industry. But here's the thing. Some of you had responded to the poll earlier that you're not even a student yet or enrolled at Kaplan. Most of these communities that talk about the education or the coaching, you have to be an enrolled student to be a part of. You do. But there is one very exciting community, and maybe you could put the link to that, Jamie, the public side one, our career community. So if you're not a student, right, you can register here, but to be a part of or to go look at our public community, which is really all about the career in real estate. Everything is about the career in real estate. So how do I what kind of specialty can I be in with a real estate license? Like, should I just be in residential? Should I be in commercial? Should I do leasing, property? Should I do land, farm? We have, like I said, almost 80 experts, right, on staff that can answer those questions in that forum. So if you want to go to a forum where you just ask your real estate career questions, like, how do I negotiate a better commission split with my broker? Should I be going into real estate now? What kind of education should I be looking at in order to further and enhance my career? We have that forum available to you now. And so I think Jamie and Jenna just put the address there in the chat. You should be able to grab that. You should be able to go to it. These are fresh. These are new. They're building. So I think, in fact, Jamie, like how many participants have we had? Is it in the hundreds or is the thousands? I mean, where are we at on our forums?
We are close to 1,000 participants in our forums now. So there's a lot of people coming in, and there's a lot of people that are just looky-loos that are totally fine. A lot of us do that. We'll go in and just find the information we need and leave. We don't always like leave a trail behind us. But also, we do have a lot of people coming in and participating. So we would encourage students to come in and participate in the forums, just because the more you participate, the more you'll get noticed in the forum by other people. And you could be maybe the expert for California, and someone from New York had a question about California and reaches out to you and is like, hey, you know what? Now that I have my license, I have someone in New York that's moving to California. Can I refer them to you? So you're always wanting to network when you're in real estate. And so let's start that networking process while we're in school. I think it's huge to kind of understand not only your wheelhouse of what you're going to specialize in, but who to reach out to in other areas that could be specializing in things that you may not have a lot of knowledge in. And you need to have those resources to look like the professional when you get out to the real world and your clients are asking you questions.
Let me do this. I'm going to ask another poll question, because I don't even know how many people, we have a lot of students on here. I want to know how many people even know about these forums before they came onto this webinar. So everybody, this will be a really quick one. It's going to go very fast. So, all right, here we go. Have you heard of Kaplan's community forum efforts prior to getting the invite to this? Have you heard of it at all? Go ahead and click a quick answer. I'm going to do a quick countdown though. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Look at that. Well, I think we're going to be surprised by this a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to share the results. All right, look at that. 27% said yes. So like 1 out of 4 have heard about it before this. All right, 61, no, I had no clue. You know, good for you guys, like showing up here, because I'm going to give you a little bit of golden nugget about where we think the market's going and how you can utilize forums, not just our forum, but other forums going forward. Maybe some of that, and then I've already used it. I don't think we got anybody that said they've already used our forum. Jamie, these are the right people. You're cultivating the right people. All right, let's do this. I'm going to stop sharing that, and let's do this. All right. We're going to come back to kind of some of the best practices in the community, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the community and some of the benefits and some of where we think the marketplace is going, and why. Because here's what I look at, Jamie. We get a lot of information. In fact, you guys can, in the chat, you know, if you want to give where you think you get the best information right now, it doesn't have to be a forum. I'm actually going to ask you a question, which forums you use in a little bit. But think about places where you go to get information about what's happening in the marketplace. I mean, for a lot of us, we see it, right? We drive the neighborhoods, we see the listings, we talk to our clients and customers who say, God, what interest rates are crazy. What's going to happen? Where are you going for the information that you think is important and helps you kind of drive where you're going to be in the business? So some of you people who've been in the business for a long time, love to have you kind of share here in the chat for those people who are still sitting in licensing courses. Like, where do you go? Because I think what happens right now is we are in kind of a pivotal moment in real estate. And there's been a couple in my career. I've been licensed since 1991. Right. So I'm one of those old guys with a license. I got a broker's license. But I can tell you, there have been these kind of seminal changes in the industry. In fact, my family was in real estate even before that. And I remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, when you guys want to talk about high interest rates, we're talking 14, 15, 16% interest rates. This is nothing. 8% is when I started in 91, this was pretty typical. It was, 6, 7, 8, 9%. It was all right in there. This was very typical. But it seems odd now because we've had such a long run of like crazy historic low. But here's the deal. Back in the late 70s and 80s, when that ginormous run up on interest rates, real estate still sold. People still had to move. People still died. People still got divorced. People still had to do a transfer for their jobs. But here's what happened. Those people who understood the marketing and the pressure on people to qualify and finance a home and to sell a home in that marketplace, looking for a buyer, those who understood what high interest rates were and what alternative products there were out there to help people afford the house, those people were selling real estate in the late 70s and early 80s. Back in the crash in 2008, right, the mortgage crisis and the financial meltdown that happened after it in 2008, there was an opportunity for people to become knowledgeable very quickly about how the community was changing. Jamie, do you remember back in the old 2008, the foreclosure and short sale business? Mm-hmm. Crazy times. And so thinking about what happened was there was a lot of experts back then, people my age now, they seemed old then, but my age now in 2008. And what happened was people were going into foreclosure. They had to sell their homes or they were going to lose any equity that they had in their house. In fact, a lot of them didn't have equity because the prices all dropped. And so what happened was we had a lot of people that were my age that said, I don't know, I just want to sell regular homes. I don't want to have to look at this short sale thing and this foreclosure thing and this real estate owned thing. And so I just want to, I just want to do my regular business. Those people were out of business, Jamie, because they didn't understand that they needed to do short sales, foreclosures, and REOs. Those people killed it. That changed their business, that got the knowledge quickly through education training and through talking to people who did it. Mm-hmm. We didn't have forums available back then, right? And now we're in a market where things are changing. How are you learning as a student of the business?
Right.
How are you learning what's the right action? Where should you be? How do you get ahead of the competition? And how do you know you're getting sound advice from somebody? So when we created our public forum about the career in real estate, that's what we were looking to do. When we created our forum that goes along with our real estate accelerator coaching, that's what we're trying to do, is to be that voice that says we can give good counsel. Well, here's what we have. We have experts in the industry and it can answer that. And so, I think of some of those benefits that comes from communities. And there's a lot of communities out there, right? There are a lot of communities out there. And so, in fact, let me do this. I'm going to ask our last poll question. Everybody, if you would, play along, because I would like to know, where do you go for your communities? Are you utilizing a community? And where do you go for that? And if I could do that real quick, everybody play along. I'd like to know. Once again, this is anonymous. And then I put in here as a possible answer, I put in other. And if you've got another, put it in the chat, like share, everybody share. If you could, love to know where people are going, where there's pools of experts that you can go to, like Reddit. Like I go to Reddit all the time for different stuff. Sometimes I go for real estate. I don't really know who's all answering, but I go there for real estate, but I totally voyeur. I mean, is that okay to do, Jamie, to come to the forums and just voyeur?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what a lot of people do. At least that's their initial reaction, is they'll go into either a group or a forum and they'll just kind of peruse the different things and that are posted until they find something that creates that engagement with them and that makes them want to respond, or they have an answer and can help facilitate answers in that forum. So yeah, definitely.
And as I'm going to a forum, if I'm going to participate, do you have any tips for like what's the etiquette when you're going in and using the forum? Because I'm going to share these results in a second, but we got a large amount that said I've never used it. In fact, in fact, some of them are like, I don't even really know, or what do I do? I'm afraid. So if you could just give us here's how it works. Could you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I were you, I would go out there, well, especially for students, because I feel like the student is learning so much right now, right? They're learning another language, the real estate language. So they're trying to like fill their head with all these new terms and technology and all the things, right, as they're going through school, which is a lot. So while you're going, though, it also helps to kind of not only use our community, but other real estate communities to kind of understand what the market's doing, because you don't want to just get your license and then be like, I have no idea what I'm doing out here. You want to actually be somewhat educated after you have your license. So looking at all those different areas, I think, is a great thing for you as well. But what I can recommend is just going in and engaging regularly, making sure that you're going into the posts and reading them, acknowledging people's contributions, like liking something, or saying that was, a great tip, or contributing yourself and saying, hey, I have this experience, or I found out this and this helped me. Sometimes even just test taking tips are helpful to share, because a lot of people, haven't taken tests in a long time, have been out of school for a while, whatever the circumstance might be. And so just sharing something that helped you to help someone else along the way, I think is great. And like I said, we have a lot of moderators in the community that will go in and give a professional answer.
How fast is it taking us to answer right now?
Right now, the average answer time, I mean, each community is a little bit different, but the average answer time is about 36 minutes.
36 minutes. So sometimes it's instant, but generally within about 36 minutes. That's pretty fast. Getting an expert answer in the forums, gang, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And
granted, it's the time of day too, right? Like if you're asking me a
if you ask
question
at
at 3
midnight,
in the morning,
I'm sleeping at midnight. So
yeah.
that's not good.
3 in the morning, you might not get as quick as a response as like 3 in the afternoon, but I think it's very quick comparatively.
Yeah. And we'd love it if you have some knowledge and wisdom, come be a part of it. Play along, understand. And once again, it'll be identified pretty quickly if you kind of know what you're talking about. And if you have the silliest questions, safe environment. Right. I mean, we're just an educator. You're surrounded by hundreds of people who just want to educate. So we think it's a good thing. And I just shared the results of the poll for everybody. Look at that. Reddit, 11%, LinkedIn, big. I was really kind of interested in if you have an internal brokerage tool. So nobody has that yet. Nobody's used that. If you're an existing agent, is anybody got an internal forum at any company that, I mean, I know you can always go talk to your broker, and you should. I mean, always getting, day-to-day advice from your broker. But like I said, I was pretty interested that nobody said internal broker tool. All right. And then for you 38% who haven't used any yet, go voyeur for a while. Like I said, I still have never posted on Reddit. I have an account, but I even got brave enough to go get an account as opposed to just voyeuring in. But come be a part of and be active, especially as a student. If you're a student, be active. In fact, we're validating some very interesting information about people, and if they engage in the education while it's happening, even to the point of if you're coming to a live online session with us, the difference between having your camera off and camera on, there's a statistical difference in your ability to pass your state licensing exam. How crazy is that? Yep. And I think what it really talks to is engaging. Are you engaging in your effort? Are you engaging in what you're doing? Are you engaging in your community? I mean, if you're going into residential real estate, you're going to need to engage in your community if you're going to be successful.
Right.
How are you going to do that? Who are you? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, that's kind of Kaplan's thing, right? Like you want to start practicing your practice in school. So let's practice being part of a community, because that's what you're going to have to do when you're outside of school. The better you can be and the more active in the community, the better you will be outside of school, participating in that community and being active. I think it's huge to be able to share that knowledge between each other. One thing in real estate I always thought was interesting coming from corporate world was you're in competition with every single person that is out here, but every single person that's out there is willing to help you. They all want you to learn. They all want you to be better. No one wants to work with a crappy agent on the other side. They all want you to be a professional. So if they can help you do something better, they're there. And that's how Kaplan works too. So if you have an instructor that can help you, they'll go into the community and tell you the right answer, the way to get it, the way to help you study. And I want the students to kind of go in there and do the same thing. Like, hey, you know what? I learned this in my class. This mnemonic helped me understand this particular confusing statistic.
Concept. Yeah, right on.
Concept. So I think that's something that we need to start practicing before we get out into the real world and doing our licensing work, and being an agent, but also helping those within the community, saying like, here, this is a great tip. This helped me.
This worked. Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing different people say, oh, Quizlet helped me, or this helped me, flashcards, go into the community and put those comments in there and let other students know, hey, this was a great tool.
Got it.
And as educators for Kaplan, I think I love hearing what helped you so that I can make that tool even better for you.
Yeah, make the tool better. Make different products for you. I mean, come on, let's face it. We're a for-profit education company, and we are looking for great ideas. We're looking to fix stuff that is wrong. Forum's a great place for that. It's posted, it's there. People see it, and in 36 minutes, somebody's going to react to it. It's another great thing. Pick the right forum, though, right? So we got a bunch of them for you. If you're an existing student, make sure you're in the right forum for the right thing. And they're pretty clear. But Jamie, we are at our time. I wanted to thank you and thank you for your efforts. I know we're just lifting this off the ground, so everybody gets to see it kind of in its infancy, but already powerful, already thousands of people coming to them and participating, and let alone our staff. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time.
Yes, thanks. It was great to hear from all of you and great ideas. Go out to the forum and make some suggestions for us. I'd love it.
Yeah, go visit the forum, everybody. Thank you.